being rookie of the year, when going to the Super Bowl the second year, winning the Super Bowl third year, season going great, and then boom, it's like the whole world's against you.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, us not winning that Super Bowl. And the thing was, we were up in that game. It was like, okay, we're gonna win this game. And then all of a sudden they came back in the fourth, and it was like, shoot, like. And then the last drive, I remember going out there, it was 2:01 on the clock. I'm like, man, we're gonna win this thing. Like, we're gonna win it. Like, let's go. Like, built for this. And play after play, boom, 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 get the ball to Marshawn the first play, a little double move, hit him down the field. We had another big play, hit another one, and then Jermaine makes that catch, and then get the ball to one, and then the play doesn't work. And, you know, it's like, okay, you know, being in my third year, you know, early in my career, it's like, all right, that could have really, if I wasn't prepared, I wasn't emotionally aware enough, that could have really effed me up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, mentally, emotionally, career-wise, because the whole world's watching. And I remember all the noise around it, this and that, and, you know, it was just like, man, like, and I hate losing. Like, everyone knows me, I hate losing. I do not like losing. And so for me, that was like just a tough moment. But what was good out of it, you know, coming out of it is that I remember waking up early the next morning, and I remember my mental coach, Trevor, hit me up and he said to me, sent me a text, and he said, you know, this is going to be hard for a while, but it doesn't mean it's forever. Doesn't mean it's going to be hard forever. And I'm like, so then I texted him back. I said, I agree, or whatever. And he hit me back. He said, you ready? I said, I'm ready. And so we created a whole plan on me going down to San Diego, getting away, you know, just being locked in, zoned in, quiet space, you know, for a little while and everything else, and just focusing on training twice a day, doing this and that. And just kind of, I remember Trevor's like, where are we going to live? He was like, man, I'm going to have you move in a Del Mar Country Club. It was like an older like country club, like nobody there. There's nobody around, like really quiet. Like,
they ain't got no iPhones in there.
Nah, just like, it was just like, I was like, well, okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
And I just remember like being so locked in that moment. And I think part of it was, and maybe this is the gift that God's given me. Maybe it's just the things I've been through in life, seeing my dad pass away, you know, the obstacles I had to do, you know, all that stuff too. And, you know, just being through some stuff. I think it gave me great perspective on knowing that, you know, sometimes life is not going to always go your way. Like losing my dad did not go my way. You know, what I wanted, you know, my dad's leg getting amputated, like basically like the first week of school when I get to college, like that did not go my way and definitely didn't go his, you know? And so I'm like, okay, how do I adjust? And I think the thing for me is the ability to be consistent, but the ability to consistently adjust, and the ability to not block things off where you're not emotional or anything like that, but just to be able to be in the moment, say it is what it is. Here's the truth. Here's what happened. And then here's how to overcome it. And just being very tactical about it in that approach, being very neutral in my mindset in that approach, and not saying this is, because like a lot of people mentally are saying, oh, this is the end of my career. Oh, well, woe was me and this and that. And I just remember starting the 2015 season, the season didn't start off the way we wanted. It was like everything was going against us, and everything was going against me, and all this and all the noise and this and that. And then all of a sudden I remember getting treatment, and it was that year, 2015. It was right before I actually played the Steelers. I remember sitting, and I remember all the noise, and I just said, you know what, God, I remember just praying about it. I remember saying, God, like basically saying to me, and I remember saying back to God, like in a way, was like, God, you chose me for this. You chose me for this. You didn't choose them. And so from then on, I was like, you know what? Whatever anybody else says, no, my God, you put me right here for this. And anybody else, if they don't have the ball in their hand, they ain't done it before, they don't.
Fuck it.
Exactly.
You said it for
You said it for me. I was thinking. But like, so to me, it was like, you gotta be thick skinned in this game. You gotta be able to adjust, but also in life.
I feel like we could do a whole hour just on that 7 p.m. moment right there, man. Because it's like
a lot of gems in that.
You know, that moment. We'll talk about family and stuff again in a bit, but that moment in the Super Bowl, that interception, like you said it, that could have crumbled a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like a mistake that big, you know, would crush a lot of folks. How long did you at least allow yourself to mourn that? Because quarterbacks supposed to have short memories. You got another play the next day, but the next snap, but you didn't have another play. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you still had to let yourself feel this thing out before you can get back on the horse. Like, how long did you at least allow yourself to mourn that play?
Yeah, I didn't sleep that night. I ain't sleep that night.
You already don't get a lot of sleep.
He was back on the field the next day.
I didn't sleep that night, but I just, you know what's the hardest part is that you feel like you let your team down, you hold everyone down, you know, and that's just the part that I hate. You know, I do anything to win, you know, help the team, you know, whatever. So the play didn't go our way, you know. And so I think part of it was being in my third year, being so young, was like, man, like, all right, I got a lot more to live. I got a lot more to go.
Yep.
Like, and I've never been, through hard times, I've never been the one to put my head down, right? Like, if you're going to be the leader, if you're going to be a guy, if you're going to be a man, you got to face challenges and keep your head up. And sometimes, you know what? I may go in my private room, my head may be down for a little bit. But when I walk out that room, gotta go. My head, my chin gotta be up. Like, I'm not the one to drop my head. I'm not the one to stay there. I just can't, because I've seen too much, and God's given me too much, and He's blessed us too much, and to have life, to have breath, to know my dad was on his deathbed, to know my mom was doing what she was doing to keep like, man, I get to play a game for football, like the game I love. Like, I can't. There's people on the street that are struggling, trying to make the next paycheck, or do this or do that or whatever, and feed their kids. Like, man, like, okay, they made a play. I got to keep my head up. And so what I seek in life is, yes, winning and Super Bowls and all that. But at the end of the day, man, like, for me, is I want to seek purpose and meaning, and more than that, and joy. And man, when people see me, I want them to see a light. Like, I want them to see, like, you know what? He went through some stuff. And for some reason, they couldn't get him. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, they can't get me.
Would you say resilience is your best trait as a quarterback?
Best trait?
Or just in life?
I think the deep ball the best. Boom ball the best.
Deep ball's pretty damn good.
Boom ball the best trait. Boom ball.
Deep ball's pretty damn
good. We'll go to boom ball, then we'll say resilience. But no, I think good 1-2 punch. I think I don't blink in the face of adversity, and you know, I'm not the type to. I'm not one of those dudes that's just gonna be, you know, lip out, upset, down, moody. Like, when you see me, you're gonna see a upbeat, positive, a guy who believes, but I'm gonna be neutral in the midst of it, highs, lows. On the sideline, I'm gonna be speaking life. You either love it or you don't, but you know what? I'm gonna be me every day. And you're not gonna make me change. Like, you know what? Because God created me to do it. He created me, gave me the opportunity to do it, and He put me in the role for a reason. And you know, only so many people are called for it. You know what I'm saying? And so when you think about it, like, you got to understand there's 8 billion people in the world. For some reason, God chose me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, God chose me. Like, God chose Mel to be one of the greatest shooters of all time. Like, there's no questions asked about it.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so why second guess yourself? Right? Like, God put it inside you to do what we get to do. And so I think a big part of it is that, like, I respect everybody's, you know, thoughts and opinions and all that. But at the end of the day, like, He chose me for it. And so I just think a big part of it is just knowing who you are, not wavering, being consistent. You know, if you're going to be a guy who's upbeat, be upbeat. If you're going to be a guy who's always kind of a jerk or whatever it may be that. If you're going to be, but like, just be consistent so people know what they're going to get. And so, you know, I didn't say be perfect, just said be consistent. And I've learned that, like, okay, there's tough stuff. We all go through it, and understanding that.